So the day was August 14th, 2020. Yes. I was playing games with my friends on my PS4, and suddenly I got an email saying your Cambridge exam results are out. And I still remember while I was opening it, I was like shaking, my hands were shaking. And as soon as I saw my grades, I saw that I got all four A's. It was math, chemistry, physics, and economics. As soon as I saw A's in all four of the classes, I jumped up, I threw my controller, and I started screaming, all A's, all A's, all A's. And my dad and my mom, they came running into my room. They're like, what happened? What happened? I told him what my grade was, and they were extremely happy. My mom and dad, they started celebrating. I started celebrating. Uh, that was the result day. I clearly remember that. And after that, what happened was during a week after that, my high school was having a university fair, you could say that, in which they were talking about different universities available and where each student should think of going and stuff like that. And mostly the university was focusing on countries like USA, Canada, UK, Australia, and European countries like Germany. And the one important thing that they mentioned in the meeting was how education was free in Germany. So my dad and I, we went to that fair, and during that fair, we, as I said, we heard that education in Germany was free. My dad's eyes lit up because he was already happy with my grades I got in my Cambridge exams, and he was like, Yusuf, we should focus on Germany. So we decided that we're going to pursue with Germany, and but the main question was, what am I going to do? Am I going to do engineering? Am I going to do computer science or any other field? Like, what field am I going into? In the beginning, I was going for mechanical engineering, but what happened was, because I was already interested in doing like making cars, anything engineering related, like building things, breaking things, building things, breaking things. I was like, let me go try mechanical engineering. So I started doing my research, but then a week or two later, my brother-in-law and my dad, they were just having a normal conversation about the economy, stuff like that, and they decided to, like, they told me that I should focus on CS and see and try the computer science field. And that's when we also decided that because I'm new to the computer science field, I should take a gap year and start working on my own. So we decided to take a gap year, and so in 2020, I got my result, and so that year was 2020 to 2021. From August 2020 to May 2021, I took a gap year, and in that gap year, I'm gonna talk in another video. I'm gonna talk about my university, how I well, how what my career path for the university was. But in last week of August, I remember, not last week, I think first week of September, I did a course on HTML and CSS, and that's how my journey in CS began. First, I did HTML, CSS. I did a Udemy course. The instructor name was Jonas Schmidtman. Yeah, and in that I learned the basics of HTML, CSS, and then towards the end of the project, we also made a website. That course took me about 3 to 4 months, and after that, I practiced making a couple of websites on my own. I made my dad's small website, and just played around with HTML and CSS. And then after that, I remember once I was done with HTML, CSS, then I started working on JavaScript. And while I was doing JavaScript, again, I took the course from Udemy. And in that course I learned the foundations of JavaScript. Then we went on to object oriented programming. I made a couple of applications. I made a bank application, I made a recipe application, and that took me approximately 4 months. So that was, so HTML CSS was from last week of August to December. In December I played with more HTML CSS, and then in January I started JavaScript and I worked onto it until April. So those 8 months gave me a good feeling of what CS was. And by September, while I was doing HTML CSS, I was already hooked up onto HTML on CS. I was like, okay, this is the thing I want to go into, because it's like, you can do it anywhere. I'm sleeping, I wake up, I'll just pull up my laptop and start working, start coding. That's how really I really got into CS. So yeah, that's my journey of basically how I chose CS. Also, I did other research as well. How can I forget that? I did a lot of research on CS. I looked at a lot of job placements for CS. I compared the salary for mechanical engineering versus CS. I saw where can we find more opportunities, where is the career growth highly likely, like it's in the CS field, or the mechanical engineering field. And as they say, no one ever stops building software. That's the world we're living in right now. So yeah, that was one of the main reasons. That was actually the reason why I took CS, because of how I liked it when I was playing around with it, the future of CS, and that's why I decided to do CS.